she retired and she went to Mexico. But the problem is...
Your mom?
Yes.
Well, where your mom is not as relevant. She applied.
She applied, but at the time when she was working,
Right.
she applied and she became an American citizen, and after September 11, she moved to Mexico. But the problem is, my two sisters are still waiting for the visa in Mexico. Even if they have a visa, they just get for 1-2 years.
Right.
They have a regular visa,
Well, you mean a tourist visa?
tourist visa,
But tourist visa allows someone to come in and out of the United States. Once they come in, then they get what's right now it's called the I-94. They're talking about doing away with that. But the point of it is, once they come at the border, they're told when they have to leave by. If they overstay, that visa, whether it's 2 years or 10 years, may be irrelevant. They may not be allowed to come back in, because then you start accumulating unlawful presence.
Yeah, but my mother asked for them like before then they get the visa, so.
No, I get that. See, and I'm surprised that they got it, because if there's a pending application, a tourist visa means that if I apply for a tourist visa, my intention is to return to my country. My intention is not to come to the United States to stay. If there's a pending application for green card, that says my intention is to stay in the United States. Those are mutually exclusive. Generally speaking, pending application, you're not going to be given a tourist visa to come to the United States. Simply because they know that it's your intention to stay here. There's a higher, more likely that you're not going to stay, that you're going to stay, not leave. So, generally speaking, those are not approved.
So what about if
But
I ask them also by myself? It's not gonna be
well, you may have to do that, because the 864, the affidavit of support, needs to be done. So someone needs to take responsibility to show that, look, if in fact this person gets the green card, immigration and the government wants to ensure that they're not going to file for public benefits. No food stamps, no welfare, no unemployment, that they're going to be taken care of. So the person that signs the affidavit of support makes the commitment that they're going to support that person. Whether, if it's a spouse and they get divorced tomorrow, it doesn't matter, that's a contract. They're obligated to do that. So if your mom is no longer here, unless she's independently wealthy, that might be a problem. She may not have the means to do that. You may have to join in that application. And there is such thing as
join the application.
Well, it's not the application; it's the affidavit. You could be a joint sponsor.
Or they have to start again.
No, they would have to start again, because the priority date would then be current. But the question is, who's going to take responsibility? That may have to be you, or it doesn't have to be a family relative.
Well, we're two brothers.
It's anybody.
We're two brothers. My brother has a green card for 10 years, and then
the issue becomes, what is the size of your household? What is the size of her household, to determine what is the income that you have to have. For example, let's say you're not married. I'm sorry. Let's say you're not married. You have no kids. It's just you, and you apply for your sister who has 3 kids. That's a household of 4. Okay, so you're going to have to show that you have a minimum yearly income of approximately $38,000. Approximately, I might be wrong. It's the poverty guidelines and they change. If it's just you and you're applying for just her, it's $18,000. Big difference. So if you and your spouse, and let's say you have 2 kids, that's now 4. She has her and her kids, that's 7. So all of a sudden your household size is much larger. You need to show that your income is that much larger, or that your assets, whether it's an IRA, whether it's equity on a home, whatever it is more than 5 times the amount you need to show. So if it's $7,000 a year, you need to have assets of $350,000.
I'm married with her, and then we are paying taxes together.
Correct. So her assets can be considered, as can any other family members who live with you. Assets can be considered for purposes of the joint sponsor, of the affidavit of support. It gets complicated the more people that are involved.
Also, she has a kid, 15 years old. Can I apply for a visa?
For your kids? For her kids?
For her kids.
Well,
we are married 3 years ago.
Good. Well, I mean, congratulations, but good because to become a stepfather, to develop that relation so you can apply for them, has to be established before the child is 16. So if the child is 17,
He's 15.
I understand, so, and you got married 3 years ago, so that's not an issue, generally speaking. But where is the child? In Mexico. So yeah, you can petition for the child, or the moment she gets a green card, she can do it.
Any form?
Yeah, you would be the stepfather. So it's as if you were petitioning for your son. Same process. It's the immediate relative petition, the I-130. Where it gets a little more dicey is you have to establish the relationship. So the trips that have been to Mexico, the marriage certificate, how long you guys have known each other, how you met each other, and that you want to bring it together. Now, if you're petitioning for her, you're petitioning for her and the child at the same time, for the same application. That's probably the way you do it.
Okay, so it's going to be the same form for both?
It would, well, yes and no, because
she's here and
the I-130 is the same because it's her child, it's her dependent. But she has unlawful presence. The son does not, unless he's in fact lived here before. If he has no unlawful presence, he doesn't need the waiver. So for him, it's relatively easy. You establish the relationship, between your marriage to her, and that she's the biological mother of the child. That is relatively easy to document. Then, is there anything that would make the person inadmissible? They would have to see a civil surgeon to make sure it doesn't have any certain diseases that they quantify that would make them an undesirable. The moment that's approved, they come in. But that's all based that it's a bona fide marriage. If it's a fraudulent marriage, then it's fruit of the poisonous tree. She loses, he loses too.